December 18, 1916. Snow is falling over Vienna, but inside the Hofburg Palace, the air is thick with the scent of burning documents. Emperor Franz Ferdinand stares out the window as 20,000 armed Hungarian soldiers march toward the city gates, their bayonets catching the pale winter light. He has been on the throne for less than a month, and already, his own empire is about to tear itself to pieces. But to understand how we reached this terrifying precipice and why the world didn't burn in 1914, we have to look at the moment the path of human history took a sudden, radical turn. Let's go back to June 28, 1914. Sarajevo. It is 10:15 in the morning. The sun is beating down on the Appel Quay. Leopold Lojka, the driver of the Imperial Graf and Stift luxury car, does not make the fatal wrong turn onto Franz Joseph Street. Instead, he follows the correct route, accelerating to 25 miles per hour along the riverfront. On the street corner, standing outside Schiller's Delicatessen, 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip clutches a loaded FN Model 1910 pistol in his pocket. He watches the silver car flash past. He hesitates. The crowd surges. The moment is gone. No shots are fired. No blood spills onto the leather upholstery. But here is the question that should keep you up at night: if those two 9mm bullets never tore through the Archduke's neck, would Europe have entered an era of unbroken peace? Or does saving this one man simply trade a sudden, explosive world war for a slow-burning imperial nightmare? Think about it: if you were standing on that crowded street in Sarajevo, would you have hunted for another chance to pull the trigger, or would you have walked away? Let me know in the comments, because the choice Princip made next changed the fate of 52 million citizens. Without the spark in Sarajevo, the dominoes of Europe's alliance system never fall. August 1914 comes and goes. The stock markets don't crash. Millions of young men don't march into the mud of the Western Front. Instead, they go back to the harvest. But peace is a fragile mask. In Vienna, Franz Ferdinand is not a beloved hero. He is a stubborn, hot-tempered reformer who openly detests the Hungarian nobility. When the 86-year-old Emperor Franz Joseph finally passes away in November 1916, ending his 68-year reign, the new emperor wastes no time. He immediately declares his master plan, the total dismantling of the old dual monarchy. In its place, he drafts a constitution for the United States of Greater Austria. 15 autonomous states, designed to give equal voting power to the empire's long-oppressed Slavic and Romanian populations. On paper, it looks like a triumph for democracy. A masterstroke to save the empire from within. But here is the twist. The Hungarian elite, who control 40% of the empire's prime agricultural land and hold veto power over the military budget, view this as an act of war. Within weeks, the Hungarian Prime Minister, István Tisza, issues an ultimatum: withdraw the constitution, or Budapest will cut off all food shipments to Vienna. By December 1916, the threat becomes reality. Which brings us back to that freezing morning at the Hofburg Palace. Franz Ferdinand refuses to back down. He orders the imperial army to march on Budapest, but the Hungarian regiments refuse the command. They turn their weapons around. Now, 20,000 rebel soldiers are marching on Vienna. And just as Europe holds its breath, waiting for the spark that will ignite a continental civil war, a telegram arrives from a safe. Petersburg.
secured before the tide turns!
Tsar Nicholas II, ruling over a restless Russian empire of 170 million people, has just made a terrifying choice. The telegram in Tsar Nicholas's hands is dated December 19, 1916. His message to Vienna is not a threat of war, but a lifeline. The Tsar is offering to send 100,000 Russian soldiers, fully armed, to cross the Carpathian Mountains and crush the Hungarian mutiny. Why would the absolute ruler of Russia, Austria's historic rival, step in to save the very man who wanted to rewrite the map of Europe? But here is where our timeline takes an even stranger turn. Nicholas II isn't acting out of friendship. He is acting out of pure, cold-blooded survival. The Romanov dynasty has ruled Russia for 304 years, but by the winter of 1916, the ground beneath his feet is cracking. Strikes are paralyzing the factories in Petrograd, and bread rations are down to just half a pound per person.
Heave ho, men! Let's get this cargo
The Tsar knows
secured
that if
before
the
tide
neighboring
turns!
Austro-Hungarian Empire collapses into a democratic revolution, the revolutionary spark will leap across the border and destroy his own throne. Before we see how this desperate royal alliance plays out, let me know in the comments, if you were in Franz Ferdinand's shoes, would you have trusted a rival emperor's army on your soil, or would you have faced the Hungarian rebels alone? Because the choice the emperor made next changed the global balance of power forever. And wait until you see what happens when the workers of Russia realize where their army has actually gone. The gamble works. At least, at first. Faced with a combined force of 80,000 loyal Austrian troops and 100,000 Russian soldiers, the Hungarian rebels in Budapest backed down without a single shot being fired. In January 1917, Franz Ferdinand officially signs the new constitution, creating the United States of Greater Austria. The 15 autonomous states are born. On the streets of Prague and Sarajevo, people are celebrating.
Heave ho, men! Let's get this cargo secured before the tide
It looks like a
turns!
triumph of peaceful reform. The old empire has been saved. But peace is a luxury bought with borrowed time. By March 1917, the cost of sending those Russian troops to Vienna triggers a massive bread riot in St. Petersburg. Without their best regiments to maintain order, the Tsar's government collapses in just 5 days. Nicholas II abdicates. Now, this is the exact moment our history books get rewritten. In our timeline, Germany sent Vladimir Lenin back to Russia in a sealed train to spark a Bolshevik Revolution and knock Russia out of the war. But in this timeline, Germany is not at war. The borders are open. Lenin is stuck in a tiny, one-bedroom apartment at Spiegelgasse 14 in Zurich, Switzerland, earning a meager living as a tutor. He never gets his train. He never reaches Russia.
Heave ho, men! Let's get this cargo secured
Without
before
his
the
radical
tide
driving
turns!
force, the moderate Russian provisional government holds, keeping Russia as a fragile, capitalist republic. Which brings us to the single biggest turning point of this alternate century. With Russia in transition and Austria-Hungary preoccupied with its complex federal reforms, Germany is left as the undisputed, untouched colossus of Europe. The German army has 800,000 active duty soldiers who have never fought in the trenches. The factories in the Ruhr Valley are producing 110 million tons of coal a year, completely uninterrupted. Instead of fighting a devastating war on two fronts, Germany launches a bloodless economic invasion. They buy up the railroads of Poland, fund the rebuilding of Ukraine, and sign exclusive trade deals with the new Austrian Federation. By 1925, Berlin is the financial capital of the world. No poison gas. No lost generation. Just a massive, imperial economic bloc called Middle Europa, stretching from the English Channel to the borders of Asia, dominated entirely by German banks and Krupp steel. It is a golden age of stability. But it is a stability built on the preservation of kings, kaisers, and absolute authority. This brings us back to the image that started it all, December 18, 1916. Inside the freezing Hofburg Palace, Emperor Franz Ferdinand stood by the window, watching the smoke rise as he burned his documents. We thought those burning papers were the ashes of a dying empire. But they weren't. He wasn't burning his crown's future, he was burning the past. He was destroying the 50-year-old dual monarchy agreement that had kept his peoples divided. By destroying those old treaties, he survived the mutiny, but he also locked Europe into an unbreakable, autocratic status quo. By saving Franz Ferdinand in Sarajevo, the world avoided the slaughter of 20 million people in World War I. The 20th century did not see the rise of Adolf Hitler, the horrors of the Holocaust, or the division of the Cold War. But progress has a price. Without the shock of the world wars, the old European empires never lost their grip. The map of Africa and Asia remained carved up by royal decree. In this world, the 19th century order never died. We enter the 21st century with kings and emperors still ruling from Vienna, Berlin, and St. Petersburg, now armed with thermonuclear weapons, controlling their populations with modern, digital surveillance. The century of peace was not a victory for human freedom. It was a victory for the crown. But while Europe remained frozen in this royal security state, a very different kind of storm was gathering across the Atlantic. Next time, we look at what happens when a highly industrialized, isolationist United States faces a united, imperial Europe.